Well, welcome back, and finally we are doing the rear fitted fly screens. Now these ones I got up in Brisbane at Southern Spirit Campervans again, where I got the airlock. So here's what you get in the packet. Normally I say kindling, but this, I think, bit of instruction is actually going to be useful, although it's hard to read, so watching this is going to help you install your own. You obviously get the fly screen itself. Now this comes, let me just unfold it for you. There we are, so you're looking at the inside at the moment. So it comes just with straight edges of fly screen material along the edge with no sort of clips or anything in them. You have to do that bit yourself, but you can see it comes with some straps for rolling and securing the centerpiece up in place when it's rolled up, and zips all the way down to the ground. And to attach them, you get a series of these little clips. So they're rubber clips that go on the edge of the van and secure the fly screen in place. And you get 6 of those, which probably isn't enough. So I'd recommend you get yourself some of these. So these are fold back clips from any stationery or office supply store. There's 12 of them in the pack, and these are the 25mm size. In addition to that, you'll need a Phillips head or whatever screwdriver is necessary to get the side lights off, which are apparently a necessary part of this production. And also something to mark where your rubber meets the edge of the metal, and I've chosen to use some chalk. If you want to use permanent marker, you probably can, but this will rub off when you're finished. Now, due to the size and complexity of the install, they recommend that you use a second person. Jimmy? Jimmy? Right, Jim? Jimmy? Jimmy? Alright, so the first step is to go around and mark the rubber and the metal. Once you go back to aligning the rubber to the metal, and you've got reference points of where it actually went. So that's the first step done. Just run around, mark everything. And the other important thing to work out is to work out which side is the outside and which is the inside. So the outside has here the extra stitching, and the inside is a bit more of a flatter stitch. Also, before you install it, just lay it out. Make sure you've got your lay of the land, you know which bits are which and how it's going to work, and make sure that you have your zips closed. Right, so the next step is to get the rubber off. So depending on which van you've got to work out which way it goes, but my rubber goes straight out, so it's just a simple matter of very gently and carefully pulling it off. Now, as you can see there on near the lights, you see there's not a huge amount of gap there between the corner and the lights, and this is why they suggest that the lights need to come off. Don't lose your screws. Where the heck is the second one? Okie dokes. So this is why they recommend you have 2 people. We'll dry fit this into place, roughly speaking, trying to get it to touch the floor. So that's roughly the middle. Shove a bulldog clip there, and we'll clip them all around. I think that's about the right length first time. Bada bing, bada boom. So there's a bit of a gap over here, so by raising this up, that should close the gap. We probably need to take it down another ½ centimeter or so and readjust all the clips. Yes, this is why you need 2 people. So that's pretty good. So it still gives you pretty much the whole opening. You may have to move this out of the way a tiny bit just to get to the edges. It doesn't really impact the opening on the sides. A little bit on the top, about 25 centimeters roughly. Yeah, from the inside you've still got a pretty good opening there. That's not really going to get in your way, and I think that's going to do the job very nicely. Pretty tight fitting welds, so that's good. It should hold it nicely in place. And you have to put one here because that's such a terrible point for the thing to hold, and only having 2 left is a pain, but I guess logic would dictate that they have to go up in the top. And I'm thinking as the rubber goes around, it will probably tighten everything up even a little bit more. So at the moment it's got a little bit of give. We'll see what happens when we get the rubber back on. Here we have the deadly Australian rubber snake. Yes, I'm seeing a fatal flaw in my workflow, which is that when you mark the metal on the inside, then you can't see it once the fly screen's on. Whoops. I'm just going to have to push that on and see if I'm aligned. How the heck are they? Aha! I can barely see them now with the torch, and we are aligned. Ugh, getting the door seal over those rubber welds is a pain. Ugh. In the instructions it says not to hammer them back into place, which is probably a good idea, but they do take some force. Yeah, that's not easy. But the good thing is that even the outer rubber is holding it pretty well, so you probably maybe don't even need more than 6 rubber welds. Okay, I was originally concerned that this would not be tight enough to hold the fly screen. I was wrong. Make sure that you pull the corners out so that it doesn't actually bunch up in here and doesn't create a little gap, because that'd be bad. Now the main next thing you can see is that there is quite a bit of overlap. They'll need to get trimmed down, as well as this bit. So I'm going to use this to cut off the excess. They're a pair of medical shears from my first aid kit, and I'm not going to do it tight. I'm going to probably leave about this much actually all the way around. Alright, so that's not super neat, but what I'll do is I'll leave it for probably a month or so at this length. Make sure that the fly screen doesn't move around too much, and once it's settled, then I might cut off a little bit more, but for the moment I'm comfortable leaving it like that. Alright, so there it is, the finished installation. And the tightness, it's definitely gotten tighter since we did the fit, so it doesn't have quite as much bounce to it as before. And having moved it down a little bit probably helps as well. So there you go, mate. Is that weirdo over there doing YouTube stuff? Yes. Yes, he is. But hang on, I hear you say, and quite rightly, this is supposed to be a comparison video. Yes. Let's go have a look at the other one. So this one in the side is the other one you would have heard me mention and probably seen in some of the shots. So what is this? Well, it isn't a van fly screen. It isn't a camper van fly screen. It is in fact a $21 magnetic fly screen from Bunnings. So the idea behind these ones is you would hang them from your back door, you'd be able to walk through them, and then when you shut them, they, in theory, there we are, snap into place magnetically. Now the way they attach is via Velcro. Installation is pretty simple. You stick double-sided tape onto the inside of the van, onto the metalwork, and then that's got Velcro attached to it, and then you stick the outer perimeter of the fly screen onto that, and it just hangs there freely. Now, because this isn't a door height, you do have to trim the bottom quite a lot, and we've trimmed and re-sewn the edge down the bottom just to hold it a bit better and have it not fray. One of the great benefits of this door, of course, is that because it's magnetic, it's super easy to undo and redo, but also you can then magnetize it to the side of your van and have a bit of an open door to go in and out of if you want to do that. And also the entire way that this thing attaches to your van can be removed because it is just on Velcro strips. So the whole thing can be taken out in about 2 minutes. So of course the $64,000 question is, which one should you get? Now I should say that that one in the side is the 120 centimeter one. There are actually 150 and 180 centimeter versions, so potentially you could do the same thing around here, although I wouldn't like your chances of the center not drooping down with the weight of the actual fly screen. So yes, it's possible. I would say for the back, I'm biased, obviously I did it this way, so I would say that my way is the best way. But I'd say for the back, get yourself something like this, which is actually sturdy and fitted in, and for the side, maybe you can go a cheap version like I did. For $21 from Bunnings, I think it's a solid option. I think it does the job, and we haven't had any issues with it so far. I think fly screens obviously are a very important thing if you're camping in Australia, because you will get bitten by all kinds of things. Not sure what's native in the UK and US, which are where most of you guys are from, and also from Germany. Guten Tag, wie geht's? But I think some sort of a fly screen solution is absolutely necessary. So these are two options: cheap version, more expensive version. Have a look at Southern Spirit Campervans or sscampervans.com if you want to have a look at how much this one costs for your particular model. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, hi Jimmy. Thanks for showing up, buddy. Where were you an hour ago? This is all done now. He's so unreliable.